Hello. Today we'll be talking about the accessory and hypoglossal nerves. So, both the accessory nerve and hypoglossal nerve, under the following headings, we're going to talk about the functional components, cores, branches, and applied aspects. So, first we'll start with the accessory nerve. So, this nerve arises from the hindbrain. It has two roots, the cranial component and the spinal component. The cranial is accessory to vagus and distributed through its branches, while the spinal has an independent course. So here you can see both the cranial component as well as the spinal component. So cranial component, it is joining with the vagus and distributed through its branches, while the spinal component has an independent course. So coming to the functional components, the cranial root. So this has a special visceral efferent. It arises from the lower part of nucleus ambiguous. It is distributed through the branches of the 10th nerve or the vagus nerve. So mainly it supplies the muscles of the palate, pharynx, larynx, and possibly heart. Next, the spinal root. This has a special visceral efferent. It arises from long spinal nucleus situated in the lateral part of the anterior gray column of spinal cord, extending between the segments of C1 to C5. Its fibers supply the sternocleidomastoid and trapezius. The cranial root, so it has 4 to 5 rootlets, which is attached to the posterolateral sulcus of medulla. They form a single trunk. It runs laterally along with the glossopharyngeal and spinal accessory to reach the jugular foramen. In the jugular foramen, it unites with spinal for a short distance and again separates as it emerges from the jugular foramen. It fuses with the vagus nerve just below its inferior ganglia. So this you can see I have shown you by the arrow. And it supplies the muscles of the palate, pharynx, larynx, and possibly heart. Now coming to the spinal root, it arises from the upper 5 segments of spinal cord. The filaments are attached midway between the ventral and dorsal roots of spinal nerves. In the vertebral canal, it unites to form a single trunk and it enters the cranium through the foramen magnum. It reaches the jugular foramen along with the glossopharyngeal and vagus nerve. It leaves the skull to the middle part of jugular foramen, where it fuses with the cranial root for a short distance. Later, it descends between the internal jugular vein and internal carotid artery. It reaches midway between the angle of mandible and mastoid process. Later, the nerve pierces the anterior border of sternocleidomastoid at the junction of its upper 1/4 and lower 3/4. It communicates with C3 and C4 fibers, and it ends by supplying the sternocleidomastoid and trapezius muscle. The communicating branches, that is the C3 and C4 nerves, provide proprioceptive muscles to these muscles. So this is tested by shrug the shoulder against resistance or turn the chin to opposite side against resistance. Irritation of nerve by enlarged lymph nodes may produce torticollis or wry neck. Next, going on to the hypoglossal nerve. Coming to the functional components, general somatic efferent column. Fibers arise from hypoglossal nucleus, which lies in the medulla in the floor of the fourth ventricle, deep to the hypoglossal triangle. General somatic afferent. The nucleus is a spinal nucleus of cranial nerve, where proprioceptive fibers from tongue end. The nerve arises from the hindbrain. Nerve attached to the anterolateral sulcus of medulla between pyramid and olive by 10 to 15 rootlets. It leaves the skull through the hypoglossal canal. It next descends between the internal jugular vein and internal carotid artery in front of the vagus nerve. At the lower border of posterior belly of digastric, it curves forwards, then crosses the loop of the lingual artery. It passes deep to the anterior belly of digastric to enter the submandibular region. Here it runs forwards on hyoglossus and genioglossus, then it enters deep to the submandibular gland. It next enters the substance of the tongue to supply the muscles. So it supplies both the intrinsic and extrinsic muscles of the tongue. So all the muscles of the tongue are supplied by this hypoglossal nerve except the palatoglossus. The palatoglossus is supplied by the cranial part of accessory nerve. That branches through C1, so it gives the meningeal branch. So sensory and sympathetic enters hypoglossal canal to supply bone, meninges and meninges of the posterior cranial fossa. So apart from this branch, it gives the descending branch. So it continues as a descendens hypoglossae, that is the upper root of ansa cervicalis. So branches are also given to thyrohyoid and geniohyoid. So nerve supplies the muscles of the tongue. So to test this nerve, so you have to ask the patient to protrude the tongue. The tongue deviates to the paralyzed side. Next, coming to the assignment, describe in detail. So number 1, the accessory nerve, that is the functional components, cores, branches and applied aspects. Similarly, hypoglossal nerve, the functional components, cores, branches and applied anatomy.